Nice shorts, Pat.
Them, mate.
Pat, I think you need to make the most of the sunshine today.
Oh my
God. They were rolled up a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Get them quads out for the fans, eh?
Just give me
trying to have a serious conversation here. You're making me chuckle, mate.
Put me right off that as.
Milk. That's what I need. Almond milk.
This is the official Leeds United podcast.
Feels like social media, the good, the bad, and the ugly side of it is in the spotlight right now. This week, obviously, we saw Thierry Henry say he won't be using his social accounts until social media companies take more action against online abuse. And we know a lot of other people have begun taking a similar stance. Now, we've all got social media. We all have our own experiences of it, positive and negative. I know you guys all use your platforms to engage with people, and obviously it is wonderful for that. Before we get into this a bit more, what's your experience like overall of social media? Is it positive or negative? Patrick, I'll come to you first. I guess kind of because playing currently, what is it like for you?
I think generally it's probably positive overall. You do get the few idiots who decide that they are kind of can hide behind a computer, if you like, and say what they want without being reprimanded. But I think in general, I love using it. I use Twitter for the news, really, to find out what's happening, like daily events and stuff like that. And then Instagram, just find myself scrolling through. So I do enjoy using it. It's just there is that downside that probably could be corrected, I feel.
Interestingly enough, like speaking, like I'm interested to hear both your answers going forward from Bex and Pat, because I, through acting, very, very rarely get anything negative at all. But when I talk about sport, particularly football, that's when it can start to go into the negativity side of things. I just find football, and I don't want to throw all football fans under the bus, because Pat's right, it is a minority completely. But there's just something about it that it can be very, very toxic when it's online. Because of Pat said, everyone's hiding behind their keyboards, and a lot of them are young kids. They don't know any better. And they forget that it's a human being at the other end of it, whether it's a player or a fan or whatever. They just don't think before they say stuff. And I find in football, more than anything that I've ever done in my career, the football on social media side can be pretty nasty. It's almost like you get a morbid curiosity of it. Like you have to, you even though you know it's probably going to be bad, you can't help but look. It's like going past a car crash. It's horrible. So to take that out of your hands and say, you know what, I'm just never gonna. I don't blame Pat for that whatsoever. And I get it. But on the flip side of it, for me personally, it's always been pretty positive, as long as I don't talk too much about football, which is hard work for me. You know?
Yeah, I was gonna say. And Jermaine, obviously. When you were playing, I don't mean to make you sound old, but social media has become...
TVs were in black and white.
Yeah.
The big boxes at the back. Before all the social media side of things came out, we still had telephones, we still had the cameras on the phone, but they were like 16 megapixels cameras. So you could take a photo and you roughly be able to figure out who you're looking at, but... you couldn't really tell. So we went from nothing, journalists sprinting after you, chasing your car, coming out of a stadium, to nobody being there at all. You'll say something in a car park, and then all of a sudden, it's on social media, and then you've got people coming at you left, right, and centre saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said this," or "You think that," or right at the beginning when Twitter first came out, when Instagram first came out. I had an Instagram account. I had a Twitter account. I wasn't active on either one. I wasn't active on my Instagram. I was active on Twitter. And I threw out maybe 3 tweets straight away in the first or second day that it came out. Got absolutely hammered left, right and centre. And I thought, wow, this is not cool. Nice shorts, Pat.
Them, mate.
Pat, I think you need to make the most of the sunshine today.
Oh my God.
They were rolled up a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Get them quads out for the fans, eh?
Just give me
trying to have a serious conversation here. You're making me chuckle, mate.
Put me right off that as.
Milk. That's what I need. Almond milk. So yeah, as soon as I got that first bout of racism, I just said, you know what, this isn't for me. And genuinely, I was on it for about half an hour. I was on Twitter for about half an hour, and I cut my account off. That was the end of Twitter for me.
And
so it's
you made your comeback. You're back on it, Jermaine, now, and you're quite vocal on Twitter. And from what I've seen, you get an overwhelmingly positive response. But is that racism still there? Do you still get those kind of responses now?
If I'm honest with you, it's similar to Pat. You kind of filter away from that sort of stuff now. Like, I know what to look out for. I know little signs to be wary of. So rather than waiting until it happens, which is sad, I just get rid of it before it has an opportunity to rear its ugly head.
You know, I can't comment on behalf of you guys, but I imagine I am open and get a lot more sort of abuse because of my gender on there, especially with the field that I work in. But I feel like I've seen both sides of it. So, for example, in the good side, just as an example, a few years ago, there was a Leeds United fan whose father was terminally ill, and he'd got one of the squares that we were selling here at Ellen Road.
The plaques,
one of the plaques, and his father wasn't going to be able to get over and see it, so he reached out to myself and other people on social media and basically said, when you go to Ellen Road, can you please try and find my father's plaque? And they were inundated. There was just so many Leeds fans that just flocked there, and they were inundated with these photos. And the man whose father it was actually sent me a photo afterwards of him lying in his bed, holding the laptop and smiling because he'd been able to see his plaque before he passed away. And I think there's things like that you go pre-social media, that never would have happened. He never would have had the opportunity. And that was really warm. But then there are really dark elements to it. And I find not only publicly for me, but also in direct messages, I actually shut my direct messages. I had them open for a period of time on Twitter for work inquiries, but some of the stuff that I was receiving was that gross, vile or abusive that I thought, in a similar way to what you said, Jermaine, it's sad, but I'm going to shut this off because I just don't want to see that. And in the same way of like not having a look at where your mentions are, just stopping doing any of that because I can predict some of what it's going to be. And, you know, I think all you three will probably agree that you very quickly become hardened to it. And probably if other people looked at our social media accounts who, didn't use them or weren't on them as much, they would be a bit shocked probably at what they saw. But for me, it's kind of now I'm able to roll my eyes a bit and go, oh, it's just another one of them kind of thing, which isn't right. It's not right. But for my own sanity, I have to be able to do that now.
You can take the solace in the fact that they're probably dense as a brick and
All Leeds, aren't we? The official Leeds United podcast.
Now, Pat and his teammates might not have been in action this week, but Leeds have actually played virtually. E-gaming is massive, and as a club, Leeds United are getting involved. So Leeds recently announced a partnership with iconic esports organisation Ninjas in Pyjamas, which saw Ollie Litu Arbin sign for the club to represent Leeds in the E-Premier League EA Sports FIFA 21 tournament. Now, Ollie reached the final last Friday, eventually losing on penalties to Man City FIFA player Shells, with thousands of Leeds fans around the globe tuning in to watch him play. Now, Pat, we know this might be painful for you, because you played Ollie recently and he gave you a bit of a lesson.
How'd you get on, Pat?
Yeah, share it with the group.
I thought I did actually quite well, to be honest.
What did the score say? Sorry.
I think the first game I nicked 2-1, and then the last game I think we drew 2-2, something like that.
So it was 8-3.
Yeah.
Right.
I did actually watch these games, and I was sort of texting Pat on the side, and I was like, "Here's had your pants down here," because Ollie had let him feel like he was in the game, and then when it looked like Pat might even get an equaliser, he just went, "Yeah, I'm done with this now," and he went and scored 4 goals.
No, the worst bit was when the second game. Obviously, the first game absolutely trounced me. Second game was dribbling it round my keeper and not shooting, and then dribbling back. And I was like, Do they do Warzone? Because me and Matty are pretty handy at that.
They don't do Warzone, but I play a bit as well. So if you want to play with me, Patrick, we can go ahead and jump into Verdansk.
Oh,
There we go.
he's gonna beat you up again.
He'll be on my team. Hopefully he'll be on my team.
We'll do trios.
He's gonna set you up. Yeah, Pat, it's safe to go in that room. Go on, pal. I got your back.
I'm going to have to stream that on Twitch, aren't I? Getting annihilated again.
Did you enjoy playing for Leeds? Do you want to play for Leeds again?
I enjoyed it a lot actually, and it feels like it was more of kind of a family, in the end of the day. When I lost that final, it hurts, of course, but I felt like I had basically every Leeds supporter behind me, and in the end of the day, we became Xbox champions, which is not too bad. But I felt like I played my heart out in that final, and I think I deserved more, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it was a last minute equaliser, wasn't it? It was he scored.
Penalties,
he got
yeah.
No, but
penalties.
he got the equaliser and late on, didn't he, to go 6-0?
Yeah, 107th, like 2+. extra
Oh
minutes, I
mate,
think. Yeah.
that's unlucky.
that's
That is
painful.
unlucky.
Yeah.
Ollie, and you could see how much, it means to you. And obviously, like you say, you put the hours in. It's like a full-time job. And, tell me to shut up if I'm probing too much. But is it financially rewarding?
For the best players, I think definitely yes. Yeah.
So yes, then, because you're one of the best players.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, it is.
Yeah.
Matty's gutted. He doesn't need you anymore.
This is the official Leeds United podcast.